President Trump claimed that an honest vote count is no longer possible in Florida's governor and Senate races. He tweeted, "Many ballots are missing or forged," and said Republicans Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis, who both have slim leads, should be declared the winners. He provided no evidence for his claim. Meanwhile, the race for governor in Georgia remains too close to call. And in Arizona, Democrat Kyrsten Sinema maintains a narrow lead in the state's Senate contest. We'll take a closer look at the recounts after the news summary. Stocks plummeted on Wall Street today after Apple, Amazon, and other tech companies suffered steep losses. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged 602 points to close at 25,387. The Nasdaq fell 206 points, and the S&P 500 slipped more than 54. Israeli air raids in the Gaza Strip left at least 3 Palestinians dead today. They came less than 24 hours after an Israeli undercover operation killed a Hamas commander and 6 other Palestinians. The strikes are the latest in what is becoming a back and forth between Israel and Gaza. An Israeli military spokesman said that at least 200 retaliatory Palestinian rockets targeted Israel today. A Hamas spokesman blamed Israel for the escalation.
The Israeli enemy struck a pivotal point for all the regional and international parties that were seeking to strengthen the ceasefire and to end the crisis in the Gaza Strip. The Israeli enemy isn't interested in a calm, and it's not interested in an end to the Gaza Strip blockade. The Israeli occupation is the one responsible for these stupid actions. The Palestinian resistance will never abandon its duty in making Israeli occupiers pay the price for all these crimes and foolish acts.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu cut short his visit to the World War I commemorations in Paris to address the escalating conflict. There is word that North Korea is operating 16 secret ballistic missile bases in spite of ongoing nuclear negotiations. That is according to the Center for Strategic and International Studies. The U.S. think tank published satellite images of the facilities. One showed a nuclear base about 50 miles north of the demilitarized zone. The evidence contradicts President Trump's claim that the North is eliminating its nuclear programs. Back in this country, Catholic bishops delayed a vote on new ways to combat sex abuse in the church. They had gathered for a national conference in Baltimore and were expected to consider a number of proposals, including a new code of conduct. But the Vatican requested that they postpone any action until February, when it convenes a worldwide meeting of church leaders. Americans observe Veterans Day today, honoring the men and women who have served in uniform. Annual festivities were held across the country, as at this parade in Mansfield, Texas. Yesterday, the U.S. Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Robert Wilkie, marked the occasion with a wreath laying at Arlington National Cemetery. And the federal government has updated its physical exercise guidelines for the first time in a decade. Recognizing the childhood obesity problem, it now recommends that children as young as 3 be active. The guidelines used to begin at age 6. It also proposes that adults get at least 2.5 hours of exercise weekly and avoid sitting for prolonged periods of time. Only 20% of Americans are currently getting enough exercise. Get up and get moving. Still to come on the NewsHour, the results of several key midterm election races remain in question. An interview with a newly elected Congresswoman on the Democrats retaking the House. Tackling mental illness in the wake of Ebola ravaging Liberia, and much more.